Alright, welcome to another InDesign beginner to advanced course. In this lesson, we want to learn how to create simple logos with InDesign. Of course, you can create complex logos with InDesign, but we want to make sure to learn some things from this. That's why we are creating a simple logo. And we have this Pathfinder to that the Pathfinder 2 can help you to create complex logos. Okay, so InDesign, if you're starting graphic design and you want to be able to use some features or do all these things in one application, then InDesign you can be able to do all these things. You can be able to switch from colors to colors. So InDesign is a perfect tool and you can use it to create logos. So now I want to recreate this Chrome logo. From this, then we look at how to create a church logo. So now this is what we want to do. I want to go ahead and bring in my ruler. So the ruler, the shortcut is Ctrl R. If you don't have yours, just press Ctrl R, and then you want to drag one from here and then bring it into the center. So you drag one from your left to the center. Over here, when you reach the center, it will get stuck by itself. Now you also bring one from the top to the center. When you reach there, it will get stuck. Okay. Now we want to create this, and the first one is the white. So let me just bring in a shape over here so that it can guide us in creating the white, so that it will be visible and not be like you won't see what you're creating. So let me bring it black over here. Now let me pick my ellipse tool and then come and create my white over there. So now make sure that you come exactly to the center and then hold Shift and Alt and then do it this way so that you can create your white. So then you release your keyboard, your key and your click, and then let's change the color to paper. Make sure that you have no fill or no stroke, but have a fill of white. And now let's make sure that we duplicate this. You can say right click and then copy, and then right click and paste in place. So you can still use the shortcut keys. Now let's turn this into blue. Okay, now to change the color is very simple to change the color. If I want to pick the same color, it's easy for me to pick the color. I'll just hold this, click on it, right click, and then come here, and then I'll just pick this color and then release it and just press OK. Okay, so you just let me do it again. We did this when we were doing the colors. So you right click and then you release it and then come here, and when you get it, then you release it and then press OK. Then you have picked the color. It's as simple as that. Now Control Shift and then let's duplicate this. Let's decrease it so we have something like this. Now if this is the size that we want, I want to go ahead and then duplicate the white. So I can just use paste in place because I've already copied it before. Now I want to change the color to the red over here, and then I want to go ahead so that I'll increase the size. I'll increase the size this way. Now release my click, and then I'll use Control and square bracket to send backwards. Control square bracket send backwards. Okay, so I have this. Now I want to select the two, which will be the white and blue. So I hold Shift, select the white, and I hold Shift and select the blue. Now I want to decrease the two. Okay, Shift, select blue, and then Shift, select white, and hold Shift and Alt, and then now you can reduce the size. Now we've created this, and now we want to continue with the break that we find in the logo. So you can see there's a break here and there's also a break here. So how do we do that? Now you have to create our own break by making sure that we bring in our pen tool and create another point. Okay, all right, so we want to go over and create the breaks that we find over there, the straight edges that we find over there. So we want to add more points to it and then create the breaks or the straight edges over there. So now if your logo doesn't resemble the one that we find over there, is the same anyhow you design it, they are all Chrome logos. Definitely if you add the same colors, then you have the Chrome logo. Okay, now so let's make sure that we add another point to it. Before that, we have to duplicate it. So hold alt click and then drag it to this side. Now let's change the color to yellow. Now let's duplicate again, hold alt and click, drag to this side, and then let's change the color to green. Okay, now we have the shapes ready. Now you can see that there are 4 points, so we come to create the break over here to be 5. So 1 2 3 and 4 points, and then you add another one to be 5. So pick your pen to come over here and then just click. You see a plus sign, which means add anchor point, so you just click to add the point. Okay, so when it comes to the edge over of the shape, then the plus there, you just click and then you add a new point. You come and pick your direct selection tool and come over here and then make sure you hold shift click and then drag it inside. Okay, so hold shift and then you drag it inside. So shift click and then drag it inside. Now we'll be creating a straight edge over there. So let's make sure to come over here, hold alt click and then drag it inside of the handle. So we hold the handle, hold alt click on the handle and then drag it inside. Okay, now we still don't have a straight edge, so you have to work on another point over here to hold alt click on the handle and then you drag it inside. Make sure that you drag it straight so that you won't distort the shape. So with this one we have to do it again. So hold alt click and then drag it inside to where the main point is. So you don't need a handle if it's still not straight. So if it's still not straight, you have to work on another handle. So you come over there, click, hold alt and then drag it inside. That's all that you have to do on the handles. Okay, so let's zoom in. Then let's come over here, hold alt click and then we'll drag it inside. Okay, now we have our straight edge. Now we also have another straight edge, as you can see over here. Now we have to create that one too. So let's come over here, hold shift click and then we'll drag it inside to this place and then we just leave it anywhere we want. Now let's come and pick the handle over here, hold alt click and then you drag it inside to where the main point is. Now it's still not okay, so you have to manipulate it. So make sure that you drag this upwards. Okay, now let's manipulate another point. So click alt and then drag it inside to this place, and then we have our straight edge, as you can see. Now let's bring in another shape. The main reason is we just want you to know this and be able to use your pen tool and a direct selection tool to manipulate points. Okay, so now come to the center over here and then bring it into the center of the lines that we added. Now send to back, control square bracket to send to back. Now I want to add another point over there. as you can see the point. Now pick your pen tool, come over here, you see a plus sign, and then click on it to add the point. Now let's manipulate it. Pick the direct selection tool, then you can come over here. Okay, let's see, you should work, no, so it's okay. Let's work on the other point that we created. Come over here, hold shift and then drag it inside. So you click, hold shift and drag it inside. Okay, let's do it again. Pick your pen tool, come over here, click, and then create a point. Pick your direct selection tool, click, hold shift and then drag it inside. Now come to the point over here. Let's work on the place point. Hold Alt, click and then drag it inside. Okay, it's still not straight. Come over here, then drag it to that side. Make sure you pay close attention. Now hold shift and drag also this point inside, okay, because we don't need that place. Now come and bring your green sign inside, hold the center, and now bring it into the center of the guide. Now control square bracket to send to back, control square bracket to send to back. Now we've created a Chrome logo, as simple as that, without any effort. So we just wanted you to know how to use the various tools. That's why we created this Chrome logo. Now let's go ahead and create the church logo. Okay, so we want to create this simple church logo. Now the main aim of creating this simple church logo is for you to know how to do the True Church International, the way it's been placed. That's the reason why we are creating this simple logo. Now I want to bring in my rule, so I'll pick one from the top, then bring it to the middle over here. When it gets stuck, then I'll just leave it. I'll pick one from here, also bring it to the middle. When it gets stuck, then I'll leave it. Now I'll pick mine. You can use the rectangular frame tool, or you can use the ellipse tool. So you can use the ellipse frame tool or the ellipse tool, the two of them. Any of them that you use will be okay. Now come into the center, hold shift alt, then click and then drag to create your circle. Now release your click, then shift S to swap the colors. Now I want to change my color, so let me come here. I'll come and click on the eyedrop. I click on it without releasing it. Now I'll come and pick a color from the logo over here, then release it and then click it's okay to pick that color. Now I'll come and pick, I want to create this one, the True Church. Okay, that's what I want to create, the True Church, a name. So I'll come and pick my type on a path tool, then I'll come over here. Now when I come here, you can see there's a plus over there. I'll just click on the plus. So make sure I select it again. Pick my type on the path tool. Where you see the plus, you just click there. And I want to type the name, which is True Church. True Church. So first of all, type the True Church first. And I want to use the Futura. I want to use Futura extra bold. Okay, control A to select, and then I want to increase size to like 25, and then enter. Now I can't pick my selection tool, and then zoom in. Now you can see that there are two lines over here which has this square over there. Now this one goes to this side, and this one goes to the right side. Okay, so now I want to pick the one that goes to the right side and drag it to the left side. Okay, and when I reach the middle over here or the point over there, I'll just leave it there. I also want to pick this and also bring it here and then release it. Now control A to select the text. Double click, control E, and I'll do what? Align center. Now after aligning center, I have to add the tracking, some of the tracking to it. So let me see. Let me add like 400 of the tracking. Okay, that's good for me. If I think that it is too small, I can just add some of the size, test of the size. Now I want to select again and change it to what we call paper, the color of the text to paper. Then I'll just leave it there. Now it is there. So what I want to do is that I want to bring the text in. So let me do it this way because people, you may not see what I'm talking about. So I'll select it again, and I want to bring it into the shape. Okay, I want to bring it into the shape. As you see it over here, that this one is just the shape. That's what I want to do. So I'll go to type, then I'll come to type on the path options. Then I want it to be rainbow. There are various effects. Let's look at skew, how it looks like, 3D, and let's look at star and gravity. So I want it to be on rainbow. It should be on rainbow. Now I want the align baseline. I want to align it to what we call descender. Okay, now let's choose ascender here. So it should be on ascender, and to path, change it to bottom. Okay, now you can add some of the spacing with this, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to still use my tracking to add some of the space. Just hit OK. Now let's change the color to paper so that I can view it well. Now let me hit this and see. Okay, so I want to bring in another stroke so that, or another ellipse shape, so that I know where I want my church logo to be. So I'll hold Shift Alt, the middle here, then I'll drag it this way, and then I'll release my click, Shift X, and then let me change it to paper. Okay, now let me work on the true church again. So let me enlarge, or let me increase the white ellipse, increase it this way, and then let me release it. So you hold Shift Alt to increase it so that you will not lose the where it was. Okay, let me go back to the true church, select all. I'm going to use what we call baseline shift to bring it into the center so that it aligns perfectly for me. So I'll hold Shift Alt, and I'll use the down arrow key. So you can see that it is coming to the center. Okay, so if I feel that this is okay for me, then I can add some of the tracking to it. because you can see that when it send it down too much, it will come closer to each other. So when it's coming closer to each other, and then you just add some of the tracking so that it will still be separated from each other. I hope you get what I'm saying. Now we have our true church ready, and then we have to create what we call the international. So I'll just select this, not even the text. Okay, I'll just select the shape. Okay, then I'll say right click and then copy, right click and then paste in place. So as I've pasted in place, I'll come over here and then remove the stroke fill to none. Okay, now as I remove it to none, I want to rotate this to 180 degrees. So I can come to object, transform, then transform 180 degrees. Look at where it went. No, so I don't want that. So I want to just come here and then hold shift. Okay, hold shift and then come to where the rotate sign is. Okay, shift and then click and rotate it to 180 degrees. Then I'll release it. Okay, so now let me type in my word, which is international. Caps international. Okay, so now when you look at the two, you can see the international is this way and this one is like this way, and it has faced upside down. So I want to make the swap. Okay, so in order for me to get it this way, what I'll do is that I'll go ahead and then select it, and I'll go back to my type and then what we call the type on a path of options. Now I want this to be on the rainbow as usual. Now I want the ascender to become descender, and then I want to path to be top, and I want to flip it. Okay, and I'll hit OK. Now this is what we have. So if we have this, what else should we do? Okay, I'm giving you 5 seconds. Okay. I'm sure you've guessed what we should do now. We should apply baseline shift in order for us to get it into the center of the shape a little bit. So we hold shift alt and then use the top arrow key. Okay, top arrow key this way. If I think that is okay, then I'll just release it. And still I can also add some of the tracking if I want to do so. Okay, and I'll just release it. Hit W to preview. This is what we have. Now I want to make another shape here, and then do this, hold shift and then do it this way. Now release it and get exactly here. And I want to use shift X to swap the color from the fill to from the stroke to the fill, and change the color to paper. And then I will duplicate this, hold alt, then shift to duplicate it in a straight line to this place. Okay, and then I'll release it, and this is what I have. Now I want to bring in my logo, file, place. I'll go into my inDesign size file and then logo design, come over here and bring in my logo. Okay, so let me drag it like this. Okay, so you can make some of the book Bible overlap to the side. Okay, then you're good to go. Now I'm sure you understood it. This is how to create a simple church logo, and you also get some of the you now know how to make these things, because if I didn't teach you, it might be difficult for you to know how to do it. So this course is good for people who are beginners and also